So, hello everyone, I'm Jacob, co-founder of HydraDX and Basilisk, and my today topic would be like why users and liquidity will love Polkadot. For many of us, maybe unexpectedly. So, I think it's important to remind ourselves where is Polkadot fitting in 2023 and beyond. Polkadot and UX, is it for real or not? And also why Polkadot can be a great fit for the liquidity as well. So I don't maybe remind you last year it was just like infinite shit show, and it also causes that liquidity dry up a lot, and DeFi apes became pretty much endangered species. And this is like many of us getting one punch after another. So, but surprisingly, macro is pretty much similar shit show, if not bigger than crypto. And with the Turkish lira hitting another all-time low, Argentina another default. I don't even remember how many times. Government debts all around the world, all-time high, pretty much. Inflation worldwide is eating savings, so savings are losing values, and central banks are losing pretty much their last credibility, and they are stuck. So they would need to raise rates even more, but they would like pretty much kill all economy, and that's prime time for the crypto, right? And in some countries like Egypt, the crypto is even like getting close to all-time high just because their currencies are even weaker and dumping even more. So there's a perfect atmosphere for the crypto, right? And Bitcoin is most liquid, decentralized, censorship-resistant asset in the times of unprecedented weaponization of the financial system. Ethereum is surprisingly only deflationary, but yield-bearing asset in the high inflationary environment. And stablecoins are truly the best crypto product market fit right now, from which is benefiting, unfortunately, Tron. There's like big unexpected winner of the success of stablecoins and USDT, as many people all around the world in like development countries, they are really using USDT on Tron just because it's so fast and so cheap. And DeFi was proven just by surviving extinction year for the CeFi. So it looks like we are getting almost there when as volumes of decentralized exchanges are catching up with the centralized exchanges. As you can see, like from the start of the decentralized exchanges, like we were pretty much nowhere, and we are catching up with a decent 25% of the volumes on centralized exchanges. But are we really ready yet for like any meaningful adoption? I fear that not really, because maybe some of you remember the frenzy, the shitcoin frenzy in early May with the Pepe coin and Shiba Inu scam rocket tokens, pretty much pricing out people from using Ethereum mainnet with the transfer cost around $20, but it had a very ugly side effect also for all rollups, which were supposed to be scalability solution for it, when transfers on Optimism and Arbitrum cost like around 50 cents and more, and obviously DeFi interactions with DeFi, like for example swap on Dexis on Arbitrum and Optimism costs from $1 to $7, which is like a lot. It's a lot. So this is Ethereum every time when MEV bots are going to work. It's like clogging network, and it's really ironic that crypto is right now used by so little amount of people worldwide. It's like Ethereum is around 1 million users daily, Arbitrum pretty much, Optimism even less, Binance Smart Chain a little bit more, etc. But in general, maybe I was thinking that, or in like global scale, I was thinking that maybe we should rebrand Web3 to Web 0.003, because the share of the world population using crypto right now, but still we are hitting the limitations of the current stack is so little, and the magic of Lightning Network is not really working, as we saw already Bitcoin mainnet also being clocked. So the transactions for opening and closing these lovely channels were stuck and not working. So unfortunately, I don't think that we are really ready yet to serve people, as congestions on base layer are basically crippling layer 2s, and I don't want to even start about layer 3s because it's like so funny. And on top of it, the dApps and protocols and blockchains, they are still like very much insecure, and 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 people are losing a lot of money. So can be parachains the real alternative to the Ethereum ecosystem or other ecosystems? And like obviously Polkadot isn't cool as kit right now, but I think it is in the similar state as Ethereum in early 2019, when like many of us, or like many people, were asking me if Ethereum is good for anything else than just for the crowdfunding or for just like pump and dumps. And infrastructure is just like coming together, and but we figured out a lot of solutions on which rollups teams or rollups projects need to just like starting to tackling right now. And we have already working light clients, which is pretty much holy grail of decentralization. We figured it out like in 2021, state of the art shared security with the embedded cross-chain communication. And we have a real on-chain governance. As you can see, like all the time, there is like some drama elsewhere where people are voting for something, but it's not happening for some reason, and it's not happening because it can't be like, it needs to be executed by either team or multisig or whatever. So I think that if you will combine all above, I think that Polkadot and parachains have actually most efficient and real decentralized technology stack, but it needs to be like done right. So, but we have many challenges still ahead of us. So integrations to pretty much any crypto product, or like for any common crypto integration, it's a big uphill battle for pure substrate chains, as everything in crypto, like custodians, hardware wallets, big data analytics, and other platforms, all other products, they are like EVM based. So it's really hard to integrate any pure substrate project in it, because they don't understand Rust, they don't understand parachain, they don't understand Polkadot substrate, and they are asking pretty big money for it. So, and operating infrastructure is obviously much more for parachains, or like the chains at all. It's like much more challenging and harder than just like if you have a smart contract platform or smart contract protocol. UX is obviously a big pain point of the ecosystem, but maybe like very associated problem with the UX is even accessibility. That, for example, I'm getting a lot of feedback on Hydra that the hardest part about like using Hydra is like get to the Hydra itself. Once people are there, it's like they are saying that it's pleasure, but the getting or like bridging to the ecosystem is like big pain point. And unfortunately, we lost like our most promising native stablecoin, and we believe that we have to invest more into safety, and liquidity is a big challenge. And when we are trying to spread the word about Polkadot, you probably are also like hitting this this narrative that it's like from like people are still stuck in 2020 and 2021, where Polkadot.js was like only solution, but the solutions are these, and the solutions are, I think, much better than MetaMask or anything else. It's a pleasure to use them. So how to overcome the UX pain points of our ecosystem? The wallet teams are already doing a great job, but parachains should help them by implementing DOT and ideally USDT or other stablecoins as the fee asset. I think this is like pretty much low-hanging fruit, which can help with many UX issues of the people, because like you can get DOT or USDT easily in many places, but it's much harder to get a native token of some specific or individual parachain. So Hydra can also help you to pay gas in other tokens for your chains, but also Subsocial and Union Network. They invent something what they are calling sponsor validating, which is also enabling to choose some specific use cases where user doesn't need actually gas for the gas fees at all. So it's like creating like this experience of like using normal web, you know. And one like personal point is like I really hate on Ethereum, but also in our ecosystem, where I'm coming to some application and it's pushing me to connect the wallet, and I'm often not in the situation that I'm sitting home and behind my behind my internet and everything. I don't really want to connect into some website just to look around. There's like, please stop doing this. So how we can solve accessibility? The USDT, the getting native USDT, I think it was like big help, and we should spread more word about it because people just don't know that we already have native USDT. The native USDC will come at some point. I heard it's soon. TM. Kraken is like one of the last and most legit exchange. Is very pro Polkadot, so that I think is great help. And more on and off ramps are coming. Like Interlay did a great job with helping to get banks out. They are adding more and more parachain tokens, which is great. Holy Held, which is one of the coolest crypto card, they will be also supporting Polkadot and our assets. So it will bring Polkadot assets to your Apple Pay or like Google Pay. We are finally having native multi-sig solutions, which is great. More parachains are actually implementing EVM as like necessary evil to get more integrations in like shortest time possible. And Polkadot Wall, aka Parity Signer, is like a real alternative to Ledger if you were scared from the latest Ledger drama as well. Safety. I'm calling AUSD and Nomad hex pretty much as Hiroshima and Nagasaki events of the ecosystem, because like unfortunately Nomad like wipe out Moonbeam, and it's like very hard to recover from it. Like I really pray for them. Like we are often in ecosystem highlighting the shared security, but unfortunately the much more likely security incident will come from the just like bad code implementation or bad mechanism design. And as we could see at the AUSD case, the shared security really didn't help with the AUSD. So, and the contagion was spreading like wildfire. So we have to get much more white hackers and much more security audit companies to looking into our code and our products. And as I was presenting before with the how whole crypto is like too EVM based, they don't even have expertise to audit Substrate or Rust or parachains, and they also don't care, unfortunately. So we put together this Polkadot Assurance Legion, which is basically big bounty proposal for helping parachain teams to sponsor and pay for more audits and more bug bounty programs, which has very nice side effect that instead of dealing with security audit companies or bug bounty platforms individually and getting like very high rates for them, we will get bulk deal for pretty much 20 projects, which will push price lower and also will help with even accessibility or availability of audit companies, because obviously best audit companies, they are not waiting on us, but they have big waiting lines, which are even months. But obviously, every parachain founder or project wants to release their product ASAP. And what is again like a big topic right now in Ethereum, but we already implemented it, is the circuit breakers, even on the XCM level or DAB level, especially our XCM rate limiter, which we are right now just parameterizing, can prevent, actually even similar to AUSD, where on some parachain can be minted a lot of tokens, and then these tokens are coming to other parachains, and this XCM rate limiter, which I'm talking about, is actually stopping any suspicious big amounts of tokens or assets coming to your parachain, or even trying to leave if some of the product on the parachain would be exploited and the hacker would be trying to run away with everything. So this was the proposal. It's in the deciding period. There is still a couple of days left. It would be great to get your support for it. And final boss for any ecosystem, which is liquidity, my favorite topic, is that liquidity is not abundant and won't be accessible as was, not just because of macro and central banks, but in general, like too many hedge funds and too many market makers lost money in previous years. But on the other hand, market makers, but also like liquidity providers, they are scared to use centralized exchanges because, like, after FTX, no one believed to anyone, and there's like, we see the constant food about Binance, so people don't know, like, people can't verify if really like Binance or other exchanges, they have really the all assets which they are claiming they have. And while Polkadot DeFi is right now like very nascent, it gave us a great opportunity to learn from like past mistakes of the Ethereum DeFi, like for example how we can deal better with the MEV and minimize it and prevent extraction from the users. So there is like a couple of strengths which we can leverage as an ecosystem. Our ecosystem has like a decent tradition actually in liquid staking tokens. We can talk about it more on the panel, I think, tomorrow. We can minimize all possible inefficiencies. Like for example, like, please don't do staking just for the sake of staking, and also excessive liquidity mining rewards. Like, you can get the same liquidity for which you would be throwing out a lot of tokens if you would be lucky and you will get the omnipool. We have to serve finally properly small users as with the cheap fees, less MEV, and good UX. And we have, as an ecosystem, big unfair advantage over other ecosystems, even above the ETH, that we, thanks to interlay, we have access to biggest and untapped pool of liquidity, which is pure Bitcoin, which can be used in non-custodial and permissionless way in the Ethereum DeFi or anywhere else. And they would like to, but these like pools of Bitcoin liquidity, or these like big Bitcoin holders, they were using previously all the BlockFi, Celsius, Genesis, and other platforms which die out, and they don't want to use anymore the centralized stuff. And we can have like additional product offerings for Bitcoin users within the Polkadot, and we really have to double down on the cheap transfers which are allowed by parachains, and the scalability of Polkadot for USDT, USDC, and IBTC. There is like no reason why people should use Tron over Polkadot. It's actually like very sad that they are pushed to use Tron instead of Polkadot, but I think it's just marketing. I think it's just marketing issue that basically these people doesn't know about this optionality. And I think IBTC can be like really like black horse of the Bitcoin transfers, as it will be always much cheaper than transfers on Bitcoin, but it will be much better UX and much more reliable than Lightning Network. Like, for example, recently you might saw a tweet that, for example, XCM transfer between Hydra and Interlay cost 62 satoshis. It's like literally on the same par with the Lightning Network. but without the channels and locking. So Polkadot DeFi can serve surprisingly well also whales. And what's a better opportunity than good assets near on all-time low? So if you like any asset which which is supported by Omnipool, I'm highly recommending to go to the app.hydradx.io/DCA and set up some like lovely schedule, which basically means that you can accumulate something what you like, or even exit something what you don't like anymore in matter of hours, days, weeks, and it's like there is probably no best strategy in comparison to like mental bandwidth and price and performance than DCA. And every time when we are getting into bull market, like all my friends are whining like, oh, why I was not DCAing more in the bear market? Because like you are not always in computer near the computer or near mobile or near mobile wallet which you have. And this lovely feature is actually not meant to be just for the end users, but Polkadot Treasury or Polkadot grantees or parachain treasuries can use the same feature pretty much for the diversification of their treasuries, either to stablecoins or DOT. Like you probably all of you saw presentation of our fearless libertarian leader Gavin Wood about the new Polkadot 2.0. So parachains will actually need to have some DOT for their slots and pay for it. So TLDR, what's the game plan for the Polkadot and how we can make it? So the parachains and parachain teams have to leverage their strengths and not like unnecessarily compete with each other. Actually, we don't have like many tries. Like no one is waiting on until Polkadot will figure it out its stuff in 5 or 10 years. So we have to focus on quality and security. We have to build up ecosystem liquidity around the Omnipool, DCA, and TWAP by supporting also native bridges, native assets, and genuine projects. Hydra already started with diversification of our protocol on liquidity, and maybe potentially other treasuries into IBTC, VDOT, and WeEat from Bifrost soon, which can create actually sustainable premium on those assets, which then can have like nice side effect that people will be incentivized to, for example, acquire Bitcoin on centralized exchanges and send it to Interlay and use it in the Interlay DeFi or somewhere else. So it will be actually, we can vampire other ecosystems or even centralized exchanges. And only after we will build up sufficient spot liquidity, it will unlock other DeFi use cases like hedging, lending and borrowing, and other kind of derivatives. And after that, there will be like great time for introducing of new ecosystem stablecoin, which I'm pretty sure will emerge. And we have basically just a short time of opportunity, short window of opportunity, which I believe is until Ethereum will get dank sharding. Dank sharding will turn Ethereum basically to Polkadot. So after dank sharding, Ethereum and Polkadot will look like very similar, and it will make rollups cheaper by factor of 100. So then my point about how rollups are still expensive probably won't hold anymore. So, but that will come in like 18-24 months. So we have to make it until now. Thank you.